Hey everyone, it's Daniela, and I'm here from Sister Mediums. I'm back for some card readings for the month of July. I'm late again, and you know what? Last month I did them on June 7th. This month I'm doing it on July 7th. There must be something with that number coming forward for many of you, and also many of you just feeling like July is going to be a whirlwind because June was. So much heaviness around me and around the clients I've been seeing. But if you think of last month, we had so much happening with patterns and trying to change patterns with relationships and people around you. So I'm curious to see how many people have moved a little bit into the shift. Last month resonated with you guys so much. I got so many messages from people saying that there was a lot of kind of BS happening and it's time to break those patterns. So I'm hoping that some of you have and created the boundaries you needed. But this month is a little different. I'm going to get right into it. Okay. So I'm using the Ascended Masters deck, Saints and Angels deck, and the Healing deck. Actually, I think I did it in this order, to be honest with you. Maybe that's backwards for you guys. It would be this way. That's how I've pulled them. And what's interesting is the very first card that came up was about female relationships. Mother, wife, sister, daughter, and Lady Nada comes up. I had to kind of really do some research on her because I really didn't know much about her. And she's here to really balance out the feminine and the masculine within you. So what's happening around you right now with a woman? So it could be your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter. I want you to think about that for a second. And the first person that pops up to you is basically who this is about. Who do you still need to forgive? Who do you still need to have that talk with? There's healing and forgiveness required with someone that fits this description right here in your life. So who is that person to you? It may not be your actual mother, but who's the mother figure to you? Is it someone in the past who was a mother to you that you need to forgive or heal? This is all about these relationships. Still coming off of what happened in June, may still be along the same line, or this could be something new. Only you will know. It tells me as well that things are out of balance. So this Ascended Master is here to tell you things are out of balance. So it's either too much softness, too much heaviness, too hard. You're either hard in your relationships or you're too soft. Find out where that balance is and try to correct that in your relationships because that's what's lacking, especially in getting your information across. Are you too giving or not giving enough in the relationship? Take a step back and look at the relationship and see how you feel. Is it that someone's giving too much to you and you're feeling suffocated with that? Speak up. You need to speak up and talk about what you feel in the relationship. Sometimes with family, especially mother, wife, sister, daughter, we don't always want to say what we want to say for fear of hurting someone. But there's always a way to come across, and that's where you balance out the feminine and masculine. If you're someone who normally is quite abrupt, who would just kind of spit things out, maybe it means to just hold back the reins a bit and kind of do it in a softer way. Bring more feminine forward so that you can do it in a softer way that isn't so abrupt. You'll get your point across a lot quicker. Too loud, like I said, too loud, too quiet. Figure out where you fit in between that. What else did I write here? Yes, we talked about the first relationship that comes to mind is the one that they're talking about in this month. Friendship. It's about friendship. It's about a spouse. It's about the relationship, sister, daughter. It could be really anyone. Doesn't mean that that's the actual title, but who that person is to you in regards to those titles that we have here. It's not always specifically your mother or daughter, but someone who you treat. It could be a niece. It could be, a stepdaughter. But think hard about those relationships. And that first person that comes to mind is really the relationship that you need to mend or heal at this time. The fact that she helps bring balance is something that you need to work on yourself. Again, taking a step back. If we don't take a step back in a relationship, we can't see the picture clearly. Again, this falls from June. Have you been doing that work where you're saying, you know what? Things aren't working out the way I need them to, or I'm not getting my point across. I'm not being heard. What am I doing differently? Because whatever's been working for you in the past isn't working for you now. So reevaluate and see where you feel you need to change. Okay. Now, at this point, we've also said that you need to ask. You need to ask your angels, you need to ask your guides and your loved ones what it is that you can do. Ask for signs and what you can do to really change this if you feel stuck. So that's why I use the Healing with the Angels deck, because I was pulled to the fact that there's not just healing that needs to take place, within yourself, within others, but within yourself as well. So the card that I pulled from the healing deck was the listening card. Are you listening? And it's not just, are you listening to yourself or your inner knowingness, but are you listening to the signs around you? Are you listening to your dreams? Are you listening to the validation that comes up and you're like, oh no, that was just a coincidence, and just ignoring it? You've asked them for a message. You've asked them for clarification. You've asked them for validation. This is a card that says they're giving it to you. They're answering your question, but are you listening? That's a really huge thing, because some people see things and they just dismiss it, or they turn around and they say, you know what, that wasn't for me. No, that was for someone else. It can't be, because you don't want to believe that they're actually giving you those answers that quickly. Angels and guides are saying, yes, it's them. So if you take a look, right, that's this whole thing of you've called on them, but are you actually listening to that? Okay. When I see the blue here too, this also tells me that there's healing taking place at the same time. Sometimes that's tough for people because the message that comes through is not always the one you want to hear. So you got something in your dream and it's all in the interpretation of it. Are you interpreting it still the way your mindset was before? Or are you interpreting it in a new way because your patterns are changing? Think about that. Trust your feelings, follow your guidance. We love interpreting dreams. They're not always bang on with how we interpret them, but most of the time you have that inner feeling and knowing in terms of what it is. So trust that, trust your gut, trust the feeling. Follow your instincts. I also want you to think of, this is the interesting part. I actually wanted to film this outside because today it's just like, look at the sun behind me. I can't even close these shutters to get that light out, but it's gorgeous outside. So I went outside twice this morning because I thought I'm going to go and do this in the backyard. Just I hear the birds chirping. It was so serene and quiet. And every time I went out, somebody started to cut their grass. And I thought, okay, somebody doesn't want me to film outside today. What's going on here? And then I had to look at the bigger picture and think to myself, well, what does cutting grass mean? And it was, can I concentrate in the noise? No, I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I was sitting there thinking, I can't concentrate. There's just so much noise. And you heard the grass cutting, right? So I thought, how can I apply that to what's happening? And in my mind, I thought, I need to come inside because people who need to hear this need to hear it clearly. They don't want any extra distraction. So how is that relating to your life right now? Is there distraction in your life? Are you listening to the right things, or are you being clouded by other noises that are coming in or other people's opinions coming in? I always look at the signs around me and how they play out. That's a really big one. So I followed my instinct. I did try twice. Actually, I even tried at the front yard, and there was beautiful, beautiful birds chirping this morning, but too many cars were driving by, and I'm like, okay, you tried. This is literally 3 times, and they're saying, nope, go inside and do it there. So here I am. The angels are asking you to listen closely. So pay attention to signs where, you might be driving around, you see something on a truck or a car, a license plate, sounds, birds, anything that just catches your attention right away. Stop and think, what does it feel like for you in that moment? TV shows. Certain things that you're like, wow, that synchronicity is kind of, making sense to my situation. It's almost like the exact same thing. See what happens in that situation. It may be relatable specifically to you. Dreams are huge. Something someone says to you. Did you hear the same thing 3 times? Listen, we have this running joke with our aunt. She says to us that everything's a sign for you. And you know what? Most of the time it is. But we wait to hear it more than 1, 2, like at least 3, 4 times. Then it's like undeniable. Just like today with me running outside and saying, I'm going to film outside. It's gorgeous. Birds are chirping. It's serene and quiet. And the minute I got out there, like literally in my ears, this freaking cutting grass was so loud. So I'm like, it's a sign, but I kept trying. You almost resist. It's something that we do in life. We resist what comes to us because we're like, no, I have a plan. This is what I want to do. But trust. And I listened. I finally listened. After a couple times I tried, I listened. So are you doing that? Are you listening to the sounds and the signs and the validation and the authenticity that's coming through from your angels? You have asked for their help. Take it, okay? They're giving you the answers that you need to help you move forward in these situations and work through these life challenges. So listen, okay? I think I stressed that enough, right? Now, the next thing that came through was my saints and angels. And hang on a second. I want to just pull something and just see if I got, yeah. Okay, just want to make sure I pulled the right cards here because I feel like I'm saying things backwards today, but I'm not. 2 cards, okay? One was a jumping card. So, and it's funny because my girlfriend and I just got off the phone about this yesterday, and it's a move, okay? So, couple of things happening with the move. It's not always that you're actually physically moving, but in maybe her case, I'm hopeful that she's going to come to Woodbridge and live near me. But this is a move. It means that it's time. So even though things are not looking the way you want them to look, it's going to happen. And I do feel this more towards the end of the month. It means your chakras have finally aligned. There were things out of balance, so things out of place. And that's why things were not moving for you. So always trust in the divine timing of things. So if you're thinking of moving a house, you're, moving jobs, whatever this case is in the move for you, it is happening and it's coming towards the end of the month. So congratulations to those who want this. Obviously, you want this to happen, and it's in their divine timing. The other thing is, look at the movement here. Those of you who are feeling out of balance, it's time to get moving physically. Again, call it a synchronicity, but what did we just talk about this morning in our family? That we just want to start walking more. We just want to start doing things where we're just moving more physically, because you get to that point where you're like, oh, I'm tired from work, or I'm tired from this, but let's just get out and enjoy. And you know what? As there's movement physically within your body, we know that that brings in amazing energy. When I'm seeing all this kaleidoscope of rainbows and colors, these are really representative of your chakras and bringing in that balance back. Funny how we started with the balance card and Lady Nada coming in, but really we're ending with that too. What else do we need to know? Looking for validation about the move. This is it. And for those of you who have been waiting for a while, even if it doesn't happen right towards the end of the month, it'll be coming soon, okay? Trust that something better is coming. So if you didn't get that first house you really wanted, you put that offer in, or you didn't get that job, it's okay. It's telling me the move is going to happen. Just trust in the divine timing of the right one coming your way, okay? Because it is coming. When you move, we talked about walking. We want to go hiking, trying different things out, looking up new trails. We just got this thing in the mail that talked about all the trails that we have around us. So I'm like, okay, let's go, guys. So make it fun. Is it dancing? Is it gymnastics? Is it just going to play baseball? Find what you love. Swimming. It could be just playing with your dog, playing with your kids, whatever it is, just get more active and get moving. That's what this card's telling us for July. You're going to feel a ton better. And the last thing, and it's funny because we had some clients recently, just going to move my paper so I don't miss things. Recently were telling us that they lost something or they misplaced something, they couldn't find something. I can't remember exactly, but I feel like that's not only for them, but everyone else who is searching for something. The St. Anthony's coming up. He's the patron saint of lost things, helps locate lost items. And in this card, he's saying that you will find it. So it's successful. Now, the interesting thing is people are like, well, where do I need to look? What do I need to do? A couple of things is that he's giving you the sign to say it's coming. So trust that where you're guided to look is where you need to go. And even if you haven't found it right away, you might need to give it a little time. Just trust in the divine timing of when it is you're supposed to find what it is you've lost. We may not be talking about a tangible object here. We may specifically be talking about something within yourself. What have you lost within yourself? Is it a new life path that you've now found? It's coming to you. It's saying that you found it. You're on the right track. So for all of you who are in that state of movement, funny how we came across that card, in different terms, but those of you who have movement or, in your life, got rid of the patterns and said, you know what, I'm doing things differently. I'm moving in different directions. Life pattern has taken you a different way. You found your groove. So it's a really good thing. Have faith. We talked about divine timing. And of course, one of the things is when I do lose something, and it was just something our grandmother always taught us, I'm sure many of you are the same way, we always recited the St. Anthony prayer, right? So St. Anthony, please come around. Something has been lost and it must be found. So that's what you need to say. And I swear it works every time. I could misplace something in my house and think like, I know I put it somewhere, and you're searching for like a day. All of a sudden you say the prayer, within like an hour you find it. It's always worked for us. Have faith. And that's really what this card is all about. So I really hope that these July cards have served you well. A lot quicker than normal. They're very much to the point, but again, coming off of what happened in June and breaking boundaries and coming through with a new pattern for you that's going to change things in your life. Because at the end of the day, if we are not changing what's happening in our lives for the better, we're just staying stagnant, and that energy does not serve you. So to each one of you who is breaking a pattern, who is dealing with this mother, sister, daughter, friendship stuff, kudos to you, because it means you're listening to your angels. They have given you the signs. They're telling you to move forth in what it is that you need to do at this time. Move, literally. All about the physical, all about clearing clutter too, because what happens when you move? We're clearing clutter. We're getting rid of the old to bring in the new, creating more energy and more balance in your life. And that you found it. So if you're on a great new life path, you found where you're headed, you found the item that you've lost, congratulations. So I hope you guys enjoyed these cards, and I will be back at the beginning of August. I'm going to be away for the first 2 weeks of August, so I'm probably either going to try to get it done that day before I leave, or I'll be coming to you live from South Carolina, which might be a little bit different. I think I might actually do that one. I'm already being called to do that one. So I will come back to you guys from the US, and we'll see what energy that brings for us for August. So have a great month, everyone. Julie will be back in 2 weeks or so to give you the rest of July. And as always, blessings on blessings. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing, and comment. Let us know what you want to hear if you want something new. And we'll see you soon. Enjoy the gorgeous weather. Take care. Bye.